The world is holding its breath. An ancient prophecy, one that's been whispered and debated for 2 millennia, might be stepping off the page and into our reality. Reports from Jerusalem are sending shockwaves through communities of prophecy watchers across the globe. For thousands of years, the Jewish people have prayed 3 times a day, "May it be your will that the temple be speedily rebuilt in our own time." Now, many believe that time is upon us. What you're about to hear isn't just another news update. It's about decades of meticulous preparation, geopolitical tremors, and what many see as the undeniable fulfillment of biblical prophecy. We're told we could be on the threshold of the final countdown foretold in the books of Daniel, Ezekiel, and Revelation. At the heart of this prophetic firestorm are 2 key elements: a flawless red heifer, whose ashes are required for purification, and the will to rebuild the 3rd temple on the most contested piece of real estate on the planet. While there has been no official government confirmation, organizations on the ground in Jerusalem have declared that it is time to build. What was once thought impossible is now being described by many as imminent. December 25. Prophecy analysts are pointing to this date as a monumental target. Why? Because for the first time in 2,000 years, what many believe is a critical prophetic domino is about to fall. Today, reports from prophecy watchers in Jerusalem say the final preparations for a red heifer sacrifice are accelerating. This isn't a drill, and it's not just another rehearsal. Many believe this is the critical step that biblical prophecy says must happen before the 3rd temple can be rebuilt. What you are about to see is why many believe the timeline for the end times has just been dramatically and irreversibly accelerated. The stage is being set, the actors are in place, and the curtain may be about to rise on the final act of human history. For centuries, the idea of a 3rd temple was a distant dream. But in recent years, and especially in recent months, that dream has crystallized into a tangible plan. The organization at the forefront of this movement, the Temple Institute in Jerusalem, has been working tirelessly for over 3 decades. They have declared that it is time to build, transforming the ancient Jewish fast day of Tisha B'Av from a day of mourning into a call to action. Their work is far from theoretical. They have painstakingly recreated over 60 of the sacred vessels needed for temple worship. The high priest's breastplate, with its 12 precious stones, is ready. The musical instruments for the Levitical choir have been crafted. The priestly garments have been prepared for a new generation of priests who are already being trained for service. In essence, a temple in waiting has been created. But all these preparations were useless without one critical component: ritual purity. And that purity, according to the Bible, can only be achieved through the ashes of a perfect red heifer. For 2,000 years, this was the great stumbling block. No such animal, one that met the impossibly strict biblical requirements, could be found. That all changed in September 2022. In an event that sent ripples across the prophetic world, 5 red heifer candidates were flown from Texas to Israel. These weren't ordinary cattle. They were bred to fulfill the command in Numbers 19. A female cow, perfectly red, without even 2 hairs of another color, without any blemish, and which had never been placed under a yoke. Now, in 2025, these heifers have reached maturity. While official sources remain tight-lipped, the chatter among insiders points to an unprecedented level of readiness. The significance of this can't be overstated. The great scholar Maimonides taught that the 10th red heifer would be prepared by the Messiah himself. The arrival of multiple potential candidates has led many to believe the Messianic age is dawning. This momentum reached a fever pitch in the summer of 2025. Reports and viral videos surfaced of a ceremony near the ancient site of Shiloh, involving the burning of a heifer by men training for the priesthood. Prophecy news outlets began declaring that the prophecy had been fulfilled. The reality was a bit more complex, yet just as significant. The Temple Institute clarified this was a dress rehearsal. The heifer used had been disqualified months earlier, making it unfit for the true ceremony. But for the priests in training, this disqualified animal was the perfect candidate for a practice run. It was a profound statement of intent, a declaration to the world that when the moment comes, they will be ready. So why can a single animal hold the key to unlocking the end times? To understand that, we have to turn our Bibles to the book of Numbers, chapter 19. For many Christians, this is an obscure chapter, a seemingly archaic set of laws. But for rebuilding the third temple, it is everything. This chapter is God's own instruction manual for the ultimate purification ritual, designed to cleanse from the most potent form of spiritual impurity, contact with death. The Lord told Moses and Aaron to have the people of Israel bring a red heifer without defect or blemish, and on which a yoke has never come. It was to be taken outside the camp and slaughtered. The priest would then sprinkle its blood toward the front of the tent of meeting 7 times. Then the entire heifer, skin, flesh, blood, and dung, was to be burned. Into this fire, the priest would cast cedarwood, hyssop, and a scarlet thread. Finally, the ashes were gathered and mixed with pure water, creating what the scripture calls a water of sprinkling, a purification from sin. Why does this matter so much right now? Because according to Jewish law, the entire Temple Mount is considered ritually impure. Every priest, every Levite, and every vessel intended for service in a new temple must be purified. Without the ashes of the red heifer, no legitimate temple service can begin. This isn't a suggestion, it's a divine command. The Temple Institute has stated that 1/3 of all the commandments in the Torah revolve around the temple. Without it, they argue, their faith is incomplete. This isn't just about a building, it's about restoring the heart of their worship. This ritual is so foundational that from Moses to the destruction of the Second Temple in 70 AD, only 9 such ceremonies were ever performed. For nearly 2,000 years, the secret to creating these purifying ashes was lost because a biblically perfect red heifer simply couldn't be found. This is what makes the current situation so prophetically charged. The arrival and maturation of the Texas heifers is seen by many as God providing the final, missing piece of the puzzle. The practice run demonstrated a mastery of the long-lost ritual knowledge. For Christians who read the prophecies, this is the necessary precursor to events described by the Apostle Paul. In 2 Thessalonians 2, he warns that the man of sin will one day take his seat in the temple of God. For that prophecy to be fulfilled, there must be a temple. And for there to be a temple, there must first be the ashes of a red heifer.
This book is your beginner's guide to understanding Scripture. Find peace, build relationships, and discover purpose in today's world. Ready to decode the Bible? Find Bible Decoded available on Amazon now.
If this content blesses you and you'd like to support our mission, you can buy me a coffee or give a super thanks. Every contribution helps us create more content to inspire and uplift others. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on my future videos. The desire to build a third temple isn't just human ambition. it's deeply rooted in one of the most detailed prophecies in the entire Bible. The vision given to the prophet Ezekiel in chapters 40 through 48. In it, Ezekiel is taken on a divine tour of a future temple, one far grander than even Solomon's. This isn't a vague vision. It's a precise architectural blueprint. Ezekiel is given exact measurements for the gates, the courts, the chambers, for the priests, and the altar itself. These chapters provide a stunningly clear picture of a restored Israel, centered on a physical place of worship where God's presence will once again dwell. The climax comes in Ezekiel 43, where the prophet witnesses the return of God's glory. And behold, the glory of the God of Israel was coming from the east, and the sound of his coming was like the sound of many waters, and the earth shone with his glory. And the glory of the Lord entered the temple. The vision concludes as the city surrounding this temple is given a new name, Yahweh Shammah, which means the Lord is there. For generations, theologians have debated whether this vision was literal or symbolic. But the painstaking detail of the prophecy, combined with the fervent preparations now underway, has convinced many that we are on the cusp of seeing Ezekiel's vision fulfilled. Organizations dedicated to the Third Temple state their architectural plans are based on Ezekiel's prophecy. They have created exact models, and a visitors center showcasing these plans is reportedly opening in Jerusalem in 2025. This is the divine mandate that fuels the temple movement. They aren't just trying to replicate the past, they are striving to build the temple that Ezekiel foresaw. For Christians, this connects directly to the end times timeline. We believe Jesus is our final sacrifice, but prophecy indicates a physical temple will play a central role in the last days. It is this temple, spoken of by Daniel and Paul, that will be the site of the abomination of desolation, a key event Jesus points to in Matthew 24 as a sign of the coming tribulation. The rebuilding of the temple is therefore seen as a critical signpost on the prophetic roadmap. While the prophetic preparations are moving forward, we can't ignore the monumental obstacle that stands in the way, the Temple Mount itself. This 37-acre platform in Jerusalem is arguably the most contested real estate on the planet, sacred to billions. Today, it's home to two of Islam's most holy sites, the Dome of the Rock and the Al-Aqsa Mosque. For any construction to begin, this reality must be confronted. The site is administered by the Jordanian Islamic Waqf, which, with Israeli police, effectively bars non-Muslims from praying on the Mount. Any perceived change to this delicate status quo has historically led to conflict. In fact, Hamas has cited the arrival of the red heifers as a justification for its attacks, showing just how potent this issue is. So how could a temple possibly be built here? Prophecy watchers point to a few possibilities. One scenario involves a dramatic, likely violent event that results in the removal of the existing Islamic structures. While some extremist activists have called for such actions, this is not mainstream government policy and is widely opposed. A second, more nuanced scenario involves coexistence. Some architects and analysts have put forward plans showing how a Jewish temple could be built on the Mount without demolishing the Dome of the Rock. They argue there are acres of open space and that the precise location of the original Holy of Holies is currently empty. A third possibility is a political deal, perhaps brokered by the figure the Bible calls the Antichrist. Daniel 9 verse 27 speaks of a future leader who will make a strong covenant with many for 1 week. 7 years, a covenant involving Jewish worship, and sacrifice, it's conceivable this leader could forge a peace agreement that allows for the temple's construction. Regardless of the method, the geopolitical tension isn't seen by prophecy watchers as a barrier, but as a confirmation. The Bible predicts that in the last days, Jerusalem will become a cup of staggering and a heavy stone for all the peoples. Zechariah 2, verse 2-3. The intense global focus on this tiny plot of land is exactly what was prophesied. The volatility and religious fervor are not signs the temple cannot be built. Many believe they are the predicted birth pangs of the very age in which it must be built. We are living in a time of unprecedented prophetic convergence. The rebirth of Israel, the reunification of Jerusalem, and now the advanced preparations for the Third Temple. These are not isolated headlines. They are signposts that have never before appeared simultaneously in history. The foundations of the world are shaking, and biblical prophecies may be unfolding before our very eyes. But what does this mean for you? The Bible is clear that these signs are given to awaken our hearts. They are a call to vigilance, a warning that the time is short. Jesus commanded us to watch and to know that when we see these things begin to take place, our redemption is drawing near. Do you believe these prophecies are being fulfilled? What do you think these events mean for the future? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to stay updated on these critical prophetic developments, make sure you subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell. These events are accelerating, and you don't want to miss what could be coming next. The evidence of preparation is overwhelming. The Temple Institute has made its intentions clear. They believe it is time to build. The priests are trained, the holy vessels are crafted, and the seemingly insurmountable obstacle of the red heifer appears, to many, to have been overcome. Detailed architectural plans exist, ready to be submitted for permits the moment a political or prophetic window opens. While no official government has confirmed a December 2025 construction start, the convergence of mature red heifers, the advanced state of readiness, and declarations from temple-focused organizations paint a clear picture for prophecy watchers. They believe the stage is being set for sacrifices to begin with astonishing speed once a purification rite is completed and permission is granted. We are not called to be fearful, but to be faithful. We are not called to set dates, but to be ready. The Apostle Paul's warning in 2 Thessalonians about the man of sin in the temple is not just an abstract prophecy. It is an event for which the preliminary stages now appear to be underway. Therefore, the call to every believer is more urgent than ever. Keep your eyes on Jerusalem, but keep your heart fixed on Jesus Christ. These signs are seen by many as the rumblings of his imminent return. The Bible's prophecies are not failing. Many believe they are being fulfilled with breathtaking precision. Be watchful, be prayerful, and be ready, for your redemption draws near.
Feeling anxious or disconnected? Ready for a deeper faith journey designed just for you? Discover Bible Study for Black Women. This guide nurtures faith, strength, and growth week by week. Overcome fear and connect with God. This empowering journey is waiting. Find Bible Study for Black Women on Amazon today and start building unshakable faith.
If this content blesses you and you'd like to support our mission, you can buy me a coffee or give a super thanks. Every contribution helps us create more content to inspire and uplift others. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on my future videos.